Welcome back to Analytical Media. We are a consortium, group of therapists, college professors, and well-published peer-reviewed authors. You can find our book on the subject of psychopathy entitled Descent into Darkness at Amazon.com. The book analyzes the murder of Travis Alexander by Jodi Ann Arias from the perspective of psychopathy, explaining the murder, everything that led up to the murder, her testimony, her endless lies. It is a deep look at psychopathy, using her behavior as the example. Today we have a question. My girlfriend is suffering from mental health problems, and I don't know what to do. And here's the letter that accompanies the question. My girlfriend has told me that she hears voices in her head, and they tell her what to do. She says that they don't leave her alone and that sometimes she sees them. When she told me that she said she was seeing one right there, she says that she talks to the devil and that she seems to see guardian angels and that she's been to heaven and to hell. She is convinced that she isn't beautiful and that I am cheating on her and that I don't love her. No matter what I say, she won't believe I'm saying the truth. At night, she talks in the third person and says that it's not her, it is the voices, and she talks to herself going back and forth, changing her voice like it's two different people talking. She's been having scary thoughts, and she tells me that whenever she gets mad, it's not her, it's the voices taking over. She says that it hurts and wants help. She told her mom, but I also want to help. She has a lot of body issues and would make herself throw up. She has suffered abuse from her father when she was a kid. I don't know how to help. I want the best for her. Now, there are some things we can gather from this. The most important thing, and the first thing we're going to look at, is her deviation from reality. That is the reason we are assuming she needs help, because she is deviated from our perceived reality. Now, if individual realities were acceptable, like you've got your reality and I've got my reality, but they don't cross, then nobody's reality is right. There's no consensus. However, this boyfriend, the mother, and you, the reader, or listener in this case, says something differently. You say there is a consensus, and that there are no voices in her head, and there is no one talking to her. We're saying that she is perceiving reality very poorly. We're saying we have our reality. We share it. And in our shared reality, the listener, myself, the boyfriend, the mother, in our reality, there aren't voices that talk to you in your head. You don't visit with the devil, and you cannot see guardian angels. That's our shared reality. She sees these things, and so we say she is mentally ill. As he said, my girlfriend is suffering from mental health problems. So she has mental health problems because she's visited the devil and she sees guardian angels, and we don't. And thus we are establishing that if you see the devil, and if you see guardian angels, and if you visited heaven and you visited hell, you are mentally ill because that's not in our reality. Can we leave her alone? Can we let her see these things and believe in these things? We say, okay, you're not in our reality, but you have your own reality, and we'll accept that. But if we do that, can we do that? No, because she will decompensate so quickly as to seriously injure herself or achieve the end of her life through non-intentional means. She'll accidentally go out a window or accidentally step in front of a car that she can't see, or she'll step in front of a car because the devil told her to do that, or the voice told her to do that. So we can't leave her alone. It would be like leaving somebody high on hallucinogenic drugs alone. And you have to recognize that when someone is on hallucinogenic drugs, they too may see the devil and guardian angels and hear voices and see things that we don't see. And when people who are high on hallucinogenic drugs are left alone, they oftentimes die through unintended means because the voice told them to do it or the devil told them to do it. Not too many years ago, there was a woman who killed her children one at a time because she was trying to save them from the devil who had been visiting her home, and she could smell him, the fire and the brimstone, the sulfur smell. She could smell him, and she was sure that he was going to kill her children, take her children, so she killed them before he could get them. If you're interested in that type of thing, we'll cover them. Let us know in the comments. We'll cover those. We'll analyze that and look at it. I'll give you the full text, the full example. So, people who are high on drugs, who are on hallucinogenics, LSD, or mushrooms of various kinds, we don't leave these people alone. We know that they're not perceiving reality well. And to protect them, we stay with them till they're no longer perceiving reality incorrectly. In the case with this girlfriend is perceiving reality incorrectly. And so we stay with her. We try to protect her until she can see reality correctly. I would like to point out something else that's important in this narrative. He says, the boyfriend, no matter what I say, she won't believe I'm saying the truth. And what he's saying is that he cannot reason with her. He cannot use logical reasoning to convince her what the truth is. She is convinced that she isn't beautiful and that I'm cheating on her and that I don't love her. And no matter what I say, she won't believe I'm saying the truth. How agonizingly frustrating it is to deal with someone who is delusional, because the logic that we can use to reason with your mother, your father, your best friend, your boyfriend, is based on perceiving the same reality. He can't reach her because she is living in a different reality. It isn't real, and a combination of treatments would take that away. Many years ago, the most common treatment for schizophrenia was rest and relaxation for a period of a year or more. It wasn't drugs. It wasn't electroconvulsive therapy. It was rest, the removal of the individual from stress. There was no exorcism involved. Think about that. Nothing needed to be done other than protecting and nurturing the individual. I'm not suggesting that this worked every time, but it did work sometimes, and there was nothing else involved. No drugs, no lobotomies, nothing was necessary. It was the treatment. So, the fact that this horribly self-destructive process could be reversed, we could return someone to a reality, the real reality, the commonly shared reality by billions of human beings, the normal reality, the non-paranormal reality. We could return them to that reality. A reality that is scientifically verifiable. Don't forget, these voices, these people she saw, they would not appear in a recording or a video. You need paranormal means beyond normal, beyond scientific, because scientific means would show these voices don't exist. We have no evidence that they do. No one else can see these people or hear the voice. And seeing these people and hearing these voices is agonizing to the victim. It's agonizing. It's not like they like it. They dislike it. They hate it. It's destroying their lives. They're depressed, they're miserable, they're in fear. And in the vast majority of cases, this can be reversed. And they can return to the same reality we see, we hear. The scientifically verifiable reality. And that is important. It's a beginning place. The idea that there is the real world, and then there is the delusional world, or the false world. There isn't my reality and your reality. There's one reality. And the better you can perceive it, the better you will be in life. The happier, the healthier, the more contented, the more correct you can lead your life. You will feel much better, do much better. You'll invest in the right things much more often. You'll marry the right people much more often. You'll make the right decision about children and the number of children much more often. You'll be promoted much more quickly. You will suffer far less sadness, if any at all. You will feel good. That's the message of Abraham Maslow when he talks about self-actualization, and Carl Jung when he talks about individuation. Let's hope that this girlfriend has gotten help she needed and everything's better for her now. She's no longer seeing the devil or visiting hell. So to our more perceptive listeners, the people that have heard all of our videos and kind of get it, we are saying to you, analytical media is saying, a group of clinicians, college professors, and well-published, peer-reviewed authors, those are academics, we are saying to you that you can become healthier, you can become happier, you can lead a more meaningful existence to you, not to anyone else. The meaningfulness of your existence is according to you, not according to anyone else. And that moving away from reality will do the opposite. It will make your life worse and worse and worse, and will produce mental illness. And the reverse of that will produce mental wellness, produce a healthier human being. It will improve your mental health as you perceive reality correctly, and more correctly, and more correctly, which is what Maslow tells us about self-actualizing people. And of course, he says much, much more than I have ever mentioned. I've hinted at what he's had to say. We can look at it in more depth. We can look at his quotations. We can look at his writings, if you'd like. Abraham Maslow or Carl Jung with his idea of individuation, which is a human being becoming what they were meant to be. Each human being is an individual. They're unique. I think we can all agree on that. And what they need and want to achieve in life, what's good for them in life, is individual. It's not a cookie cutter thing. As I have said many times in class, in my many classes, your sister, let's say you are a girl or a boy, but let's keep it gender specific. You are a woman, a female. Your sister is, of course, a female. She's a year or two older than you. And the two of you share more genetic material than any other persons in the world. You're not more like your mother than your father. You're not more like your father than your mother. She's not more like your mother than your father, etc. She is one half of your father's DNA and one half of your mother's DNA. And so are you. You are biologically the most identical people in the world other than identical twins. And even identical twins are more identical to each other than they are to their mother or father. 50% mother, 50% father. No other human beings in this world are 50% mother, your mother, 50% your father. So we've established your sister is the most like you biologically, the most like you than anyone else in the world. However, And she might look like you. Both might have blonde hair and blue eyes. Both around 5'5" or 5'6". Both have a strong jawline, a petite nose. Now, what is right for your sister? What has made her happy? Let's say your sister went into medicine. Would that be your field? Or are we assuming that your field will be medicine? No, not at all. You know that. What I'm saying is you know that you don't want to be your sister. You don't want to follow in her footsteps. You know you're different. You know it. You're unique and she is unique. And when she finds a man that she plans to marry who's wonderful in every way and the most handsome, attractive man she's ever met, when you meet that man, he may not be appealing to you at all. You might say, wow, this is awful. How could she marry him? You know that to be true. You are unique, but we live in a similar reality. Our reality is what it is. How many persons have shot themselves with unloaded guns? How many people have shot someone else with an unloaded gun? And when you hook these people up to the lie detector, what do they say? And police have done this. They say, the gun was unloaded. And what does the lie detector say? They're telling the truth. In other words, you believed in your mind that the gun was unloaded. In reality, it was loaded. Your failure to see that caused great harm to yourself or someone else. Reality was an absolute. It's not that sometimes the gun's loaded if you got it, and sometimes it's unloaded if somebody else has it. It's either loaded or unloaded. And don't point it at someone and pull the trigger just because you think it's unloaded. Don't be careless with that weapon just because you believe it to be unloaded. What evidence do you have of it being unloaded? Well, you can pull out the clip and look in the chamber. If there's no bullet in there, believe me, it's empty. Science says so. Reality says so. But even though you believe in your heart that gun's empty, it's always been empty. But you just forgot that it's not empty. You forgot it, that's all. It was a mistake. You forgot that you had loaded the gun and you were going to do something and shoot, go outside and target practice or whatever you were going to do. And you put it away because the phone rang, not realizing that you put away a loaded gun. So, we need to perceive reality correctly. It's a torture if we don't. And this example, this letter, proves that. And I am saying to you, when you can accept the idea that reality is an absolute, the reality we perceive, the reality we live in. You know, I like to say to you, of the billions of people in the world, how many are right when they believe that the Titanic did not sink? None. Of the billions of people in the world, none are right. Show me one person who's right. Give me one drop of evidence to show that the Titanic did not sink. And I can show you all the evidence that it did. Pictures of it sitting at the bottom of the ocean in pieces. The life stories of the survivors. Did some of those survivors say that the Titanic didn't sink? No. They all said it sank because they had evidence. They were wet, they were cold, they saw it, they heard it. They saw the bodies floating in the water. Reality's the same. Then you can see that it's not okay for this girl to visit hell and talk to the devil. There's no evidence that that's real. And we can bring her back to see reality better. She's being tortured now. When we bring her back to the fact there is no devil talking to her, that there are no guardian angels floating around, when we can do that, she'll feel much better. She'll feel healthy again. She can go on with her life because she's seeing reality more clearly. Think of the mistakes you've made in your life. Things that you think are mistakes. I should have never broken up with that girl. I should never have married that girl. I should never have invested in this stock. I should never have trusted my brother-in-law. Think of the mistakes. I should never have gone into this field. I shouldn't have gone into medicine when I really should have gone into engineering or art. Think of the mistakes you've made that you recognize as mistakes. Not that I am saying are mistakes, or that analytical media are saying that are mistakes. The ones that you acknowledge. And if you had it to do over again, you would have done differently, and your life would have been much better in retrospect. What do they say? Hindsight's always perfect. Now, you may be one of the people who haven't yet come to accept the fact that you have made mistakes, and you will suffer for that, believe me. But those of you who are self-correcting, you are improving your life by no longer seeing reality incorrectly, and no longer can you invest in the wrong stock. No longer will you trust your brother-in-law. You will demand evidence. When that car salesman says, this is the safest car in the world, you will demand evidence before you believe it. So, Maslow says that self-actualizing people are the only healthy people. And you can see why. Because they don't base things on anything but reality. Their decisions and what they're going to do, how they're going to invest their life, it's going to be based on reality. Not based on wishing, hoping, fearing, optimism, pessimism. It's going to be based on reality. I know you'd really like to be a rock star with a big band, world famous band, idolized by millions of people. But that's not a good reason for you to quit college and start taking guitar lessons. Think about it. And some people did. They quit college. And 99.99999% of them never made a nickel playing music. They did it for a few years, ruined their life in many ways, gave up their dreams, unrealistic dreams. Dreams that you can do it in a certain amount of time with a certain number of guitar lessons, etc., etc. That's unrealistic. Success comes to very few guitar players. If you can learn from your mistake, you won't do it again. But if you could see reality clearly, you would see you had no evidence to believe that you would become a rock star. But you had every drop of evidence to suggest that if you would have stayed in school, today you would have been a successful lawyer or dentist or a music teacher. Hopefully we can see this. Hopefully we're making an impression upon you about the fact that you could be healthier in life and happier. And they go together. We are analytical media. We will bring you more videos of this sort, looking at psychology and philosophy and any reference to religion. We are purely 100% clinical and academic. As always, I hope we have helped you. I hope we've given you something to think about and that you will think about these. Come to your own decisions, certainly. But contemplate what we're suggesting. Think about it. Research it. Think for yourself. That's our goal. Make your life a little better. Entertain you with intellectual thought, academic realities. And we'll post again. We wish you the best. We'll see you in the next post.